Hello, we're here at the TM1 and Planning Analytics conference here in Sydney at the Hilton Hotel. I've got with me Nick Renot from IBM, and Nick's a specialist in AI. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Let's. You've done a presentation for us in the conference, so thanks for that. Thanks for the sharing for a start. Maybe you just want to just do a quick summary of what that presentation was for us.
Yeah, sure. So what we went through during that presentation was we really touched upon all aspects of the business analytics lifecycle. So we started off with creating a budget and a forecast for a merchandise planning model.
Right.
We then went through how to use deep learning and predictive forecasting to sort of drive that going forward. And I guess that's pretty important when you're looking in a merchandise planning environment, because you want to ideally have a bit of an estimate of what's going to happen with your revenue and with your sales, right?
Okay.
And then we sort of overlaid some constraints on that and took a look at how we can optimize our marketing spend to maximize our profit. And that's all within the realm of planning analytics and enabled using TM1 Pi.
Okay, yeah, you're taking data out of TM1 and putting it into something predictive and then putting it back into TM1.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so you said deep learning there. Okay,
yes.
so let's, there's of late, there's I think a number of different kind of like phrases that have been coined for predictive analytics. So there's deep learning, there's AI, and there's like statistics. It's like almost like the foundation piece, however many decades ago, sort of thing. So can you sort of unpack for us what all these things are? Like, are they different or not, sort of thing?
Yeah, sure. I guess that's the $1 million question that everyone's asking, isn't it? So I guess when I typically like to talk about AI, I start off with the idea of general versus narrow AI. So general AI is really talking about a system or a model that can handle really generalized tasks, so much like a human would be able to. So you'd be able to ask it virtually any question or ask it to perform a task that a human would be able to, and that system or model would be able to respond in kind. When we talk about narrow AI, we're getting into slightly more specific. So, and that's really talking about like smarts in a specific niche. So when we look at predictive forecasting, you could consider that a narrow AI specifically for predictive forecasting.
Right.
You might also talk about like a spam filter and recommendation engines as narrow AI.
A specifically defined problem, sort of
thing.
Yeah.
Correct,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
I guess overpinning a lot of that is data science, right? So the study of data in a sense. And I guess when we're looking at data science, I like to think about it in sort of 4 different rungs. So you've got the collecting of data, organizing of data, analyzing of data, and then sort of infusing that machine learning sense into it. So those 4 sort of steps, I'd really sort of broadly categorize a lot of those as sort of the environment that data science sits in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I think when folks would be looking at this and they would say, I've got an AI problem, I think maybe a lot of the time they might actually just have a business modeling problem or an aggregation problem or just like a data problem, that the data isn't clean. So how do we sort of help people quickly find the solution to their problem as opposed to just coming through a door and finding it's the wrong door and then backing out? Like what's your experience of how we can help people, find the right solution quickly, sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I think it really starts with asking the right question. So really trying to understand what it is that they're trying to sort of get out of a particular data project. So a lot of cases you might take a look at a modeling problem, and really all they're asking for is it might be a driver-based forecast.
Right.
So there's no actual predictive in it. So, but I think modern sort of design thinking style tools and having workshops with clients definitely helps to really tease out what it is they're trying to get at. And I think explaining the business analytics lifecycle, so going through the process of planning, descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive, so what to do, sometimes helps when a client's trying to work out where in that sort of life cycle they fit into.
Right, okay. Yeah. And even more of a deviation.
Sure,
so
okay.
Slightly like, what about things like operational research? Like this is sort of, we see the problem occasionally at customers where they have the sort of logistical problems, and TM1 isn't really the solution for that. You can bend TM1 in that direction. As I say, like again, using the right tool for the job sort of thing is super important. But like, Has IBM got tools out there that will kind of like be applied to things like that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like a typical ops problem that you've got is ordering the right amount of stuff or product at the right time to make sure that you're always sort of hitting that demand capacity, and you're minimizing those stockouts, for example, and that's pretty common in retail.
Yeah.
So because we've got things like the REST API and TM1 Pi sort of baked into planning analytics and available for planning analytics, you can really start sort of leveraging TM1 for so much more now.
Right,
and
exactly. So, so you've got sort of, you know, there's, I think Marius Wirtz, like who's the, you know, the father of TM1 Pi, he was saying yesterday that there's something like, I think 280,000 sort of libraries out there, you know, that are dealing with all kinds of, you know, kind of issues or whatever, that someone has just thought, hey, I'll solve this problem. Yeah. And so many of them are about, you know, doing optimizations or statistical forecasting, all that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of like, that's the free stuff out there that you can get a result, but there's also like products that IBM have got, which we could send TM1 information out to, that they can, you know, do their business and then bring it back into TM1. Is that right?
You're completely right. So I guess one of the really interesting ones that's sort of just coming out these days is Auto AI. So the ability to sort of load in some data into the Auto AI environment, select your target variable, and then have a predictive model built off the top of that. And I think one of the really key things, or one of the things that I really like about it, is that it goes through it uses the CRISP DM framework. So the framework that is typically upheld by data scientists and people working in data mining. So all the steps that a typical data scientist will go through, Auto AI is sort of replicating that as a system for you.
Right.
But I guess sort of stepping on from that, you've got tools like SPSS and Modeler where you're able to build those predictive forecasts, and then sort of touching on your optimization problem. You've also got iLog Cplex, which helps you with those slightly larger or more specific optimization problems.
Okay, that's all right. So Auto AI, that sounds like, so automatic artificial intelligence.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds pretty clever. Okay. All right, so how do people get into this? Like, you know, how do they learn about it? All that sort of stuff. Where do you go?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. So I think one of the
you can say about your website if you want now.
Okay, I'll give a plug to the website. But one of the really great places to learn about data scientists is you've got cognitiveclass.ai. So that's a free learning platform offered by IBM to learn about data science. The other great place to go to is to dataplatform.ibm.com if you want to take a look at Auto AI, SPSS, and a few of the other tools there. And then, of course, my blog, so nicholasrenot.com. So there's a few great links on there and some examples of how to do more with TM1.
Well, I have to say, I read it and it's truly great.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, thanks for coming, Nick.
No problem. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.